Welcome to Wellington's Y Zone, a podcast dedicated to curate weekly sports conversations, be a constant sports hub for content and interview game changers within the community and the world. I am back with another episode. I know it's been a minute. It's been pretty much about 3 weeks since I released my last episode. I've been in the middle of moving to a new spot and finally had to get adjusted with everything. But I'm back. Follow me on socials, Wellington Burns, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X. Gotta say X so Elon Musk doesn't get upset. But follow me on all the socials. Wellington's Wise on videos up 3, 4 times a week with constant takes. And we're in the thick of the NFL season. Week 8 just had the Chiefs and Commanders game. The Chiefs are able to win 28-7. And starting off with that game before I get to the rest of the Sunday night games, it the Chiefs are becoming more settled. They're becoming a more settled team, especially with the return of Rashee Rice, and then you have um, Xavier Worthy back in week 5. Mahomes is just able to distribute the ball effortlessly. Kelsey's looking better. And this team is as they prepare for Buffalo in this upcoming Sunday. I think this is going to be like one of the like pivotal primetime games that we always see every year. We always know Buffalo, Kansas City. It's going to be one of those games all eyes are on, because Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is a great duel. But I think that with the Pacheco injury, that is concerning. But the run game with Kareem Hunt, they still have a stable portion. So I feel as though Kansas City, I think they're going to be they're looking like Kansas City again. And that Buffalo game is always just one of the like it's the measuring stick game for Buffalo, but it never seems to matter as much for Kansas City because they're like, we'll see you in January. That's how it goes for them. They're like, we'll see you in January. We'll see you then. Because they're never as invested. Not saying that they're not trying to win the game, but they never seem as invested in that game as much as Buffalo is. So that game, prime time, I believe it's the probably it's this probably a CBS game with Nance and Romo as it should be. 3:30 game. I think it's going to be obviously a spectacle. But getting to the Ravens and the Bears, I want to start off with that game because Baltimore 30-16. You got Derrick Henry running for 2 touchdowns. Tyler Huntley making a big third down throw late in the fourth quarter. Um, they had to get back into the win column. You know, they were on a 4 game losing streak, and the Bears dominated kind of the first quarter, but managed only 2 field goals in that period. And I think with Baltimore, it's all about managing and weathering the storm while Lamar Jackson is out. They know, for one, that like they have to save up, scheme, build up enough momentum, get enough wins before Lamar Jackson comes back to be able to like at least run the table. And we're seeing with Pittsburgh, they're not even looking like the same defensive unit as they once did. Like, yes, like the offense, Rodgers, he's looking good, but defensively, they're not looking like that same unit. And I, for one, definitely feel as though Baltimore can still win the division. The Bengals, they're struggling. They lost to the 0-7 Jets. Um, so like we knew, as I said, as I said, without Joe Burrow, you can call the season a wrap for Cincinnati. You can call the season a wrap. They're not going to be the same team without him. Um, and so with Baltimore, I think they still have a shot. You know, they still can win the division. They still can run the table and get back into that column, so to speak. So I feel as though with Chicago and Caleb Williams, um, I still haven't seen enough consistency from him, even this season, to feel as though like he's going to be a reliable quarterback. There's still like the APB is out on him, so to speak. It's still a question of like, is this guy actually going to be a stable week in, week out type of QB? I have not seen that yet. Haven't seen it. So I think Caleb Williams' consistency, turnover issues, all of those things are gonna definitely come into play Next game I wanted to get to, we mentioned it. I mentioned earlier, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Green Bay wins 35-25 on Sunday night, and um, obviously this is the reunion of Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, and it's interesting because this was not the game I was expecting. I wasn't expecting as high scoring of a game. I thought Pittsburgh's defense was going to be stronger, but Green Bay was pretty much able to do whatever they wanted to, especially in the second half. And Jordan Love, he threw for 360 yards, three touchdowns, and this was kind of like the passing of the torch game, so to speak. It felt as though like very symbolic to see what happened in that game. And I think with the Packers, really good team in the NFC, 5-1 now and one with that tied at Dallas, but a
Mhm.
really good unit. And I feel as though this team has the capability, their ceiling is so high, they can like be an NFC champion, Super Bowl contender, obviously. But my one question with them is sometimes they play up to the level of competition, they play down to the competition they're at too. When can they become that team that is not having a tie with the Dallas Cowboys as they shouldn't have? I don't think that game should have been ended with the tie. They should have won that game. So what are you going to do in those situations when you're not playing a team as good as you? Are you still going to come up with that competitive fire and fervor, or are you going to kind of mail it in? And so that's the one thing I'm looking for Green Bay. I still have questions about Jordan Love's consistency in terms of not consistency because he's a consistent quarterback, but I mean turnovers. I think he makes turnovers at the most inopportune times, so that many times. But I really think the turnover issue is something that I'm seeing a big kind of a question mark with him. Great quarterback, absolutely, absolutely like exceptional quarterback. But turnovers, as we know in the playoffs, are the Achilles heel of any great quarterback. It's that's something that can cause major panic. So I would definitely say turnovers when it comes with Jordan Love, and next up Indianapolis and Tennessee, the Colts, who are the world beaters. They're I never thought I'd say the Colts are world beaters. Uh 38-14, they're 7-1. They could be 8-0. Honestly, they could be 8-0. Like if you really think about it, this team could be 8-0. That Rams game was down to the wire. A millisecond here, this play going different, just however you want to phrase it or position it, they could be 8-0. And they're able to beat the Tennessee Titans 38-14. Um, Jonathan Taylor scored three more touchdowns. Did only 12 carries to rush for 153 yards, which is insane. And Daniel Jones threw three touchdown passes. The Indiana Jones QB, not Danny Dimes. We gotta title him right. The Indiana Jones QB. Come on now. Come on. Daniel Jones. I couldn't have predicted this if I had a Martin Scorsese script. I couldn't have predicted this. I couldn't have. That they would be 7-1, and they are so versatile offensively. They can beat you in so many different ways. The running attack, the passing, they know how to attack the field. They're an exceptional team, and they're going to be a problem. So hats off to the start that Indianapolis is having so far. It's been incredible. Um, and I did not see it coming. Didn't see it coming at all. Couldn't have predicted it at all. Next game I wanted to get to is obviously the Eagles. Um, them them looking like the Eagles again with the last few games. They were able to beat the Giants in the kind of like a revenge game, 38-20. You know, they had that Thursday night loss to New York a couple weeks ago. Saquon Barkley, 150 yards, monster. Um, and Jalen Hurts had four scoring passes. And he said, quote, I don't think there's anything that we can't do. It's a matter of are we working towards it and working in the right way. Mr. Mr. Cliche King himself. I get a bad rap for how much I go at Jalen Hurts, and it's not because I don't think he's good. I think in some ways he is the overglorified Russell Wilson that he says anything impressive in a post game performance. We're like, whoa, never heard that motivational quote before. I'm like, okay, I've heard it a million times, but because it's Jalen Hurts, he just gets the credit for it. But go Jalen Hurts. I know I'm on the Jalen Hurts hate train, but I'm like, hey, uh, no hate. It's really no hate with me with him. I just think like I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. Um, and sometimes he has disappearing acts. Just does. Like I'll be completely honest. Sometimes he just has disappearing acts. I'm just like, okay, like show me something. Now he's shown it the last 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong. Like when he did it in the Super Bowl too, completely shut me up. But I have had some questions about can he like actually be present fully in a game and not look inept at times, which he has in some big games, but majority of big games, he's shown up. He's shown up. I just think, maybe not my cup of tea for a quarterback, but I think there are I, I hate to like go deep into the Jalen Hurts love hate relationship I tend to have with this quarterback, but he's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Patrick Mahomes. He's not better than Lamar Jackson. Um, I would say he's not better than Matthew Stafford. I can go for another quarter. I don't think he's better than Baker Mayfield. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top five quarterback. I just don't. I think he's a really good quarterback. I do. I will give him that. Great leader, phenomenal leader. But he's not that guy. I think so many times we find ways to kind of like bolster him up when it's actually the team he's surrounded by. It's a great team. Saquon Barkley is a monster of a running back. The unit that they have around them is incredible. I don't think Jalen Hurts is what uplifts them. I think the unit and the system is what uplifts them. It's not Jalen Hurts. I've never seen him be the guy to be, oh, he's transcendent. I don't think you put him in Buffalo. Buffalo is as good as they were with Josh Allen. I don't think if you put him in Tampa Bay, they're as good with him in Tampa Bay. I don't think you put him with the Rams, they're as good. I think he's a really good quarterback in a system. I think you put him in anywhere. Mahomes, oh, he's going to kill anywhere. Allen, he's going to kill anywhere. Baker, he's going to kill anywhere. I don't still buy the Jalen Hurts hype. I just don't. In terms of being a top five quarterback. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You got to give him credit. I mean, the guy's a great leader, can run. Don't get me wrong. The guy can play. The guy can play, but he is not a top five quarterback. He's not. And I'm standing on that train. So if he sees this, that's just how I feel, man. That's just how I feel. Um, Next game I want to get to Broncos Cowboys. We got to give the Broncos credit for how they're looking. They win 44-24. Bo Nix has an impressive performance. Running back RJ Harvey scored three times. Pat Bryant caught his first NFL touchdown pass. And I mean, with Bo Nix with the four touchdowns, like Sean Payton said afterwards, like I didn't think Dallas could keep up with this. I didn't think they could. He straight up said that. I don't think they could keep up with this. And he was right. He was absolutely right. Last week when I saw Dallas kind of blowing out Washington and they're at home and like Jerry's looking happy and everything and just They're in the mood, like feeling good. Yeah, how about them Cowboys? I was just like, you guys know they're gonna go up to Denver next week and completely look like a different team. They're gonna look inefficient. They're gonna struggle. Like you know this is gonna happen. Like I was like, cool. They beat Washington at home. Awesome. Never said they couldn't win games. I just said they couldn't win the important games. And that's the forever script on them. Um and sometimes I'm just like I feel like we buy the Kool-Aid too much as viewers in the league. We're just kind of like, oh yeah, like they could do it. They could do it this year. And I'm like, what's the proof? Like, where's the actual proof they could do it this year? So that's how I feel. I think Denver is solid, really solid, very, very formidable team. Only two losses, 6-2, and they look very good. I didn't want to get to college football before I take a break and get to some NBA discussions. Brian Kelly, he is let go of LSU. I want to pull up the actual details of this story because Mr. Brian Kelly, Mr. Brian Kelly. Um, I have a lot of thoughts on Brian Kelly, and I don't want to get into too much of it, but I mainly feel as though he goes to teams and you never feel as though like they're going to like win the actual title because I think a lot of times his teams disappoint. It's kind of like high expectations and like low rewards, low outcome and delivery. I never feel like the delivery is there when it comes to Brian Kelly teams. And now it's just kind of like wow, like he got that 10-year 100 million contract back in 2022 and he's got the official buyout of over 50 million. Um that could also eclipse the number James Franklin will be paid after he got fired. So look, big payouts, all of these things, where are the results? And I think that's kind of what you get when it comes to Brian Kelly, because this LSU team, especially with how they looked in that second half against Texas A&M, it's not gonna cut the mustard. It's not gonna cut the mustard, man. It's a high amount of promise and expectations and just oh this is what's going to happen. We look at even in Notre Dame. Um, at some point, it just wears out, and I think that's what Brian Kelly with what happens in Brian Kelly's tenures, it wears out over time. And you're just like, where is this team actually going? Are we just going to keep losing the same games, keep losing important games? Like, where are we going as a program? And I think Brian Kelly is not the guy. He is not the guy that was going to take LSU over the top. And if they want a culture hire, I mean, I'd say why not Lane Kiffin? Why not Lane Kiffin? Um, I see what he's doing with Ole Miss right now, and also I think he could be a good coach for Florida. Why not him? And I feel as though when you have an offensive guru as Lane Kiffin is, it'll probably be it'll probably be like more drama on the sidelines, more just well, I mean, I don't know if you can say more drama because Brian Kelly is as like he's as fiery as they come when it comes to being upset. You look at that gif of him just yelling after a Notre Dame turnover, like it's right there. But I think they need a better culture hire. And I just don't think Brian Kelly was that guy. It just didn't feel like an SEC hire. Some coaches are like, oh yeah, SEC, like it makes sense. Like that, even with how I feel with Alabama, and they're obviously looking, top five team have that close call against South Carolina. But with Kalen DeBoer, it was like I was kind of puzzled because I just didn't feel like he was an SEC guy. And when you bring like Pac-12 people and Big Ten people and Big 12, it's just like can they adjust to the SEC expectation? Because there is an SEC expectation that comes when you're coaching these big time programs. It's not just like, oh, okay, like we're building. It's like, no, like, okay, year two, like where are the results? Are we getting there? So that's my thoughts on Brian Kelly. I just think he was not the right fit for LSU long term and was not going to get them over the hump. I wanted to get to kind of the hierarchy of college football because got Ohio State, they're undefeated. Indiana is looking really good. A&M, they're able to beat LSU 49-25. Alabama has a really close call against South Carolina that could have costed them everything. Um, and I'm impressed with how Alabama's QB Ty Simpson is responding. I'm impressed. I think every time they have kind of, especially besides how they started with Florida State, every time they've needed him to answer the bell, he's responded. I think that's what you have to do in these games. Um, I think Vanderbilt with Diego Pavilla, he's obviously a Heisman candidate. He's been impressive. Trying to go through the other teams that have been looking really good. And I know I'm missing them because I've been so rusty not releasing an episode over the past 3 weeks. Um, let's pull up the rankings right here. I mean, Texas is coming back. Texas, in a sense, it's coming back. 6-2. You got to mention Georgia. Um, I I feel as though Ole Miss is going to have a lot to say, because they are continuing to win important games. Um, but yeah, I think this has been a very just like jumbled up year college football wise with the hierarchy. It's been hard to like tell who's that like clear cut team. I think there's more parity, which I like. I think it's good that there's more parity and you kind of like even at, week 8, you're kind of like, man, like where are we at? Where are we standing? And I think there's more big games to come. So um I'm loving the parity in college football. I'm absolutely loving it. Um I'm loving what I'm seeing. And I feel as though um with no matter what happens, we're getting uh a sense of this isn't just one team running the show. This is like one or two teams running. It's like, oh, like, okay, Indiana's looking good. Alabama's looking good. Ole Miss, they're in the mix. Georgia's still there. Vanderbilt, you got a Diego Pavilla stepping in, bringing some fire to the scene. You got all of these different situations where it's like, oh man, like this is a really intriguing college football season. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna do some NBA talk, get to Mr. Wimby, and we'll be